This conference will now be recorded.
Hi Malka, can you also please introduce yourself? We'll go with introductions first and then we will go with the discussions of how we have tailored our sessions for this. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Raghav. I'm Malka Samarasinghe, certified PP consultant. Currently, I'm working for Kemso Global IT as a PP consultant. I have 3.5 years experience as a PP consultant.
Okay, thank you. We'll also have Veera with us. Hi Veera.
Yeah. Hi, hi. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, this is Veera. Uh, I'm having 8 plus years of experience. Initially, I have started my career as an developer, and after that, I was moved to APO functional. So I'm now working with the DP and SMP modules, and I'm working as a technical functional. So this is
Thank
my
you. Thanks Veera and also Malka for giving your introductions. So I will introduce myself and then we will go ahead with the discussions about how the sessions have been tailored for you. So I am Raghu Kumar. I have been with SAP for more than 12 years now. I've been an SAP both technical and functional certified consultant. I'm certified from IIM Bengaluru, so I'm a both functional consultant. So I have started my career also with ABAP, so I can also give you some examples with ABAP. So it's a good that Veera, you have started with your career with technical, so that you can also relate to this new emerging technology of S4 HANA. So and also Malika, it is also very much advantage for you because you have already into the production planning process, so it is very much easy for you to adopt. So I would say that yes, your decision to go for SAP advanced planning is a very good move for both of you. Nice. So there are a few aspects here I would like to brief. So can you please confirm? Do you able to see my screen?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, Raghav.
Okay. So the first is about the gap analysis sessions. So what are all the prerequisite topics which are needed essentially for us when we are trying to do to know about say S4 HANA with advanced planning, the say the architecture wise, or let us say the very necessity as a client, what are they going for the new implementations as the clients, and all those things will be detailedly explained by us in the gap analysis sessions first. Then we have the training contents. So I hope my coordination team has already circulated you with the training contents. If not, you will be receiving it by end of the day. So which I will also make you go through like how would a training content would look like, what are the different topics which will be the part of the discussion, and then the third one is about the user stories. The user stories is more about like what are the methodologies which we have already gone through and we have learned from this training contents. So you are going to apply this to the real time challenges which the clients have faced, and you are going to understand more about these methodologies, how are they going to work under this user stories sessions. Clear? So the gap analysis sessions, which covers all the prerequisite topics first. So it makes you more awareness about like what is the significance of those different methodologies as a client. What would be the scope of them in the usage will all be discussed by us under the gap analysis sessions first, and the training contents which narrates more about what are the different brief topics which will be shown by me now after a couple of minutes, and the user stories where you are trying to apply these real-time challenges as a user story, and you are trying to understand analyze like how a client is trying to face this. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just start showing you a word document which will brief more about this training contents. So do let me know if you're able to see a word document in the meantime. So just a minute. Assuming you're able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the same, the 14 topics which we have it in the detailed one. So I will just make you go through, and however you will be receiving the training content if you have not yet received by end of the day. Yeah. So as I mentioned, before we really start with the actual topics of training contents, we would have first completed with our gap analysis sessions, which gives you a more privilege to understand about the breadth and length overall as a module of advanced planning, how it is helping the clients to analyze more about the different, say, constraint based planning, which is very important for us. So that is also which is another important solution which SAP is now bringing up. If you are also aware of, like, we need these solutions to be much more accurate now, because we have started, SAP has started, say, from the R2 and then the R3 and then now it is ECC and now it is, say, SAP S4 HANA. So you see that there is a tremendous improvement with S4 HANA because it's a cloud based. It also supports the cloud based environment also. That gives us a much more say privilege that this module is going to be much more special than the other modules which are, let us say, the other previous versions of SAP products earlier, because they were only for on-premise solutions earlier. So the very essence of what is S4 HANA, how it is bringing up the difference in the overall data processing, we are going to understand more in our prerequisite topics. And we'll be then starting more about, like, how are these functions much more enhanced in the S4 HANA. So, like, say, the material requirement planning, the multi-level planning, material planning and capacity planning, and production planning runs. Then about the advanced production planning with PPDS, the finite requirement planning, and finite planning as multi-step procedure, planned material flow, multi-resource planning. Then the master data requirements, especially for PPDS, how they will be configured, how they have been processed further to advanced planning side. Those things will be detailedly understood by us for those sessions, especially maintained for this master data requirements. Then we have the basic functions of production planning, wherein we speak about the requirement strategies, the planning procedures, determination of supply sources, the scheduling types and pegging types. Then we have a completely new topic called DDMRP, and how is this really making a difference in the advanced planning. We are going to understand more in detail for this topic. And the whole heart of PPDS, that is the different tools which are used by different planners in the context of planning. How are they, say, much more enhanced, and what are the different features they consist, right, in the point of configuration, and what are the different features they consist of. We will be discussing more about them for these sessions. And we also have a few methodologies which I mentioned, say the CTP, which is or is the PPDS optimizer. How do they work, and what is significance of them in optimizing or say analyzing the different data situations, will be discussed by us more in detail for these sessions. Then we have the different types of heuristics. So the heuristics and they say the different classification which are possible, and what is the say the usage of them in the advanced planning tools, and how are they been get configured, and what is the scope of them in the customization aspects. We will be discussing more about them for this different types of heuristic sessions. And so here you can see it is a rewritten CIF story. So we will be first discussing about how is the overall architecture of ECC and APO, which is much more matured model, and then we will see how is our new S4 HANA system is actually configured. So this gives you an awareness of how was an older system, say ECC and APO system, they were configured, and that also gives you an easiness to realize how is this new system is really much more efficient. So you can really say appreciate the new when you're aware of old, right? You agree for this point, Malka and also Veera,
Yes.
right? So there's a reason why we will be emphasizing first, like, okay, how the system was earlier, like when I say ECC and APO system, which were two different boxes, and how the data processing was really happening, which is something which is completely simplified, we would say, in the under S4 HANA box systems, and how it is simplified, what are something different they were able to bring up, that we will be discussing more in detail for this rewritten CIF story. Then we will also speak about, once we have done with the CIF overall configuration aspects, then we will be speaking about what are the different data transfers it is needed and what is the significance of them and how faster they are, more in detail for those sessions. And then we also have the another methodology called MLATP. How do we configure it and how do we use it is also something we are going to speak about, because it has a very, say, near correlation with how the PPDS works, and the efficiency of that methodology is something very much related to it. So we'll be also speaking about them. And as the last one which I spoke about, which is all about the user stories, wherein we will be discussing of what are the different challenges we face and how are we trying to use these different tools, which we see it as interactive planning tools, in order to make the planners much more efficiently do their planning, will be discussed by us under this case studies and real-time examples. Any questions for me with respect to this training content by itself?
Raghav, I have one question.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
is any Fiori apps applicable for PPDS is covered under this session?
Yeah, so for Fieri is but the Fieri apps requirement, yeah, that's a good valid point you have brought up. So in the context of interactive planning tools, it is still there. But if you're extensively looking forward for any of the Fieri applications according to your project requirements, you could please let me know so that we can emphasize on it especially. Or else it is
Okay.
still covered under my say the interactive planning tools.
Okay. Other thing, we have one scenario that configurable material we use in one of our plant. Then CDP is that characteristic dependent planning. Is it covered under this training content?
Okay, so okay, I should also emphasize this as a separate point. So, any specific requirements which you which comes to your say according to your client engagements you have, so we will still take them as the tailored sessions.
Okay.
So you could just jot down what are the different requirements you are actually looking forward for. Let us say CDP, or let us say about say a specific Fiori app. More emphasizing, let us say you can just keep a note of them and you can let us know so that we will ensure that those are tailored sessions here are available for you, and you get the best of from us, because maybe they are still not into the basic training content, but still those topics will still be given priority for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Raghu, so all the content like what you have mentioned, so this can be configured in the system. You can show, right?
Okay, this is also another important point you have bring up with. So S4 HANA, the current system which we have, so it is looking forward for a new live cache patch. So what we are going to do is like for your initial awareness, like how would an S4 HANA system would look like. For that, we are taking one system, and to understand the different capabilities of PPDS, we already have a matured APO system wherein we are going to discuss about these methodologies and the transfers. So what is only the difference you would be able to see is that the CIF functionality is something which has been changed. So for that, we are still going for the older one. That also gives you the privilege of looking of the system in the older view. And only the difference is that because you don't have the S4 HANA system with live cache updated now, because of we are running of this new patch which is happening. So for that, we do not have the live cache up to the new S4 HANA system. But for the same functionality wise, it is still available for you in the APO system also. So there should not be a problem at all for you to illustrate the examples. How would it look like? Okay.
Okay, like what about Fiori applications? If you can show anything in the Fiori, like MRP live out results.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. So,
if you
Malkat,
can,
do you
yeah.
have the system wherein you can use the Fiori apps which you have mentioned
Yes.
for your? Okay, that should not be a problem at all then. So, okay, basically because our current system, that is our S4 HANA system, now it because it doesn't have the live cache updated. That's the reason why you could not see the working example. But yeah, we can still take it forward with the system. And yeah, the functionality point of view, or you say the working behavior, or say the methodologies and the application, our So the already matured ACC API model should be sufficient for us. But in the context of theory applications, yeah, maybe we could take help for Malka so that we can also see the screen how would it for the configuration wise only for that sessions. Yeah, should that
Yeah.
be fine with you, Malka? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. However, this would be only for you only, so you could expect that it is completely available for you only. So the discussions will be both with the one-on-one only. So no other newcomers would be joining the sessions. Yeah.
And actually, Raghu, I'm not aware of anything in the PPDS. I have some idea
Yeah.
in SNP only, and
Yes. So
so
gap analysis
I don't have much
sessions.
idea on PPDS. So are you going to give some basic
Overall view, yes. So
yeah,
in the
PPDS?
gap analysis sessions, yes, Veera, as I mentioned at the very beginning, so your maybe it's irrespective of the awareness, all the prerequisite topics will still be covered. Maybe let us say there is some points, maybe say Malka would like to emphasize on, or you say Veera has another point, maybe you can just let us know so that we can emphasize more on those points, but we still have a basic structure where we are going to start with our gap analysis sessions first. That is all the prerequisite topics. Let us say, for example, I'm going to speak about say, an MRP planning, how it happens in an ECC system, and then obviously for different other material requirement planning methods. And there may be, if one of them has a more necessity to understand more in detail, we'll try to
Your
emphasize
voice is
this.
breaking, Raghu.
Okay. Is it the same now also?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, what I was just trying to give you an example was that there could be some situations where once we start with our gap analysis sessions, maybe if needed, you can let me know to add some more weightage to it so that I can proceed further. But let us say like you are aware of the topic, I will just touch base it. Yeah, in that situation, it also ensures that you are covering the basic topics also. Yeah.
Okay. Like actually, I would like to like request to provide more information about PPDS and
Mhm.
what are the best data configurations from
That would be
R3
there
and
as a
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
would be there as a part of our basic discussion. I'm also speaking about the very basic necessities. So okay, however, we are going to proceed further with the discussions, right? So however, you will be seeing like okay, how are we really going to start our discussions? So yeah, so let us say, so we'll just to go proceed with the discussion further if you have no other questions. So these three aspects are clear: gap analysis sessions, training contents, and the user stories. And then also the tailored sessions, as I mentioned. So even if you have any specific requirements, say Veera, you can also let
Yeah.
us know so that we will emphasize, or you say we will keep it up this tailored sessions for you, of course for you both, so that you can take the advantage of this. So because whenever we see that people with different client engagements, they have say the different experiences coming up. You agree, right? So because
Okay.
they have their different challenges, and they can share this platform for that also. Yeah. Questions any further, or
Okay.
can I proceed?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. So let me hear from you your awareness towards this score, and you have to bear with me. There may be a few questions. Maybe you say it as like very simple, but maybe I'm just for my awareness to know more about your experiences. I may ask you a couple of questions going forward also in the sessions, so that it also helps me to tailor my sessions accordingly. Yeah. So score model. Have you ever heard about this term, Malka or also Veera?
Actually, I don't have much idea.
Even me too
Okay.
also.
Okay. So this stands for say supply chain operations reference model. Basically, so any supply chain consultant you pick up, so they have the different processes which are involved, and how the classification happens is using this supply chain operation reference model. So let me do a small thing here. I'm just gonna place name of a few different clients, and do let me know what you remember by seeing the name of this client. I hope you are able to hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let me start with Malka. Yeah.
Yes.
What's your thought process by seeing these clients? I think most of them you might have heard, or say few of them at least for sure. Yeah.
Mm, no, actually, I can't tell what do you exactly want.
Okay. So what do you remember by, say, for example, Dell? What strikes to your thought process when I say FedEx, or when I say Amazon, when I say Nike, and when I say ITC? Yeah. So these are like a few branded names which
Yes.
are known for across the globe, right? So I'm just asking, what does it strikes for you? Maybe it could be any simple thing. That should be still fine. I just want to know, like, what was the thought process by seeing these names of these clients on the screen? Amazon, for example. So what do you remember when I say Amazon? Say
Yeah,
an
it's a
e-commerce site,
sorry.
e-commerce site, right? It's an e-commerce
Yeah.
site where, yeah. So where you can shop anything. You have many options to shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Similarly, Dell, maybe a laptop.
Laptop. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Veera,
Yeah.
what's the thought process? Maybe you say any other company, say Nike. What strikes
Like
to you?
ITC is like it's related to food,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Robert Marsh is like of like
Mm-hmm.
some machines. It's producing the machines like
Nice. Very good.
yeah,
Yeah. So
Nike shoes. Yeah.
shoes. Okay. So you see the way how do they work, or the products which they are really trying to deliver, they are different, right? So they are not into the same business at least, right? So they are into varied businesses, let us say, right? So, but the score model is still applicable for all. So that's something I just thought to bring up. So that's the reason why I placed this different clients, because whatever the complex the supply chain may be for them, but still they can use this core model to understand how can they say categorize their processes. So what are the different five segments the score consists of? Let us understand them. So we have plan, make, source, deliver, and return. So these are the five important segments the whole supply chain operation different models consists of, and any process you would like to claim for this particular clients, they can be classified into this five different segments. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now, say when I say in the context of making, it's more about like how am I trying to make my product more and more customer centric. So I took the name of Dell because it is the world's most customizable laptops manufacturer in the across the globe. So that's the reason why Dell is quite famous. Let us say about FedEx. FedEx is a client, or it's a company which can give you the fastest deliveries as possible. That means it has the more and more reliable delivery system. Okay, and let us say for Amazon, so it's like one singular situation where it's a one big platform where you can source, or where you can see that you can get the different types of materials at a one single site. That's the sourcing process much more efficient. Or let us say about making, as I mentioned about, say Dell is also one of the example wherein you would see that it has the different making processes where it can customize the products more to the customer requirements. So that's the efficiency of this system. So you see that they are mastered into these processes, but still they need to do a planning. They still need to ensure that they have a returns process also efficiently possible, and these are still valid for them, but they are mastered into these processes, making them the leaders in the overall, say, the different competitors they have in their own arenas. Okay, so now let me also understand from you your say a comfort toward these terms, MTS, MTO, and MTE. Yeah, MTS. Any idea? Any thought process what it could stand for?
Make
Make to
to
stock.
stock.
Wonderful. Make to stock. Okay. MTO,
Make to order.
make to order. MTE,
Make to engineering.
make to engineering. Well said. Yeah, nice. So we see these are like three different ways how I can manufacture the same product, but it would be differing depending on the client, on the, say, the different types of customers the client is exposed to, right? So okay, what's the thought process, Veera, when I say make to order? What would be the situation? Can you brief it about it, some
So
thought process about it?
yeah, like when sales order came, it will be considered a make to order. So based upon the order, we will produce the product and deliver it.
Well, okay, let me also hear from Malka. What's the thought process when I say make to order? Yeah.
Uh, make In the make to order scenario, production is a start once after the customer order received,
Yeah. Well,
and once after the order received, manufacturing starts.
nice. Okay. Well, valid point. Yeah. So, for me as a client, let us say, how could I really classify, does my business falls into a make to stock, or does it falls into a make to order, or does it falls into a make to engineering? So that is made possible by understanding the processes into, say, push and pull processes. Any idea what does it mean by push and pull processes?
Push means we produce and store materials. Simply, I don't know whether it is correct or wrong.
Yeah, good try, please. Yeah, proceed.
Uh, no, actually, no.
Okay.
You can explain?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we do is we will just take a very simple example, and I want you to help me out. So let us say I just want to make a sandwich for myself. Okay, making of a sandwich. And can you please tell me what are the different things which are needed for me to make my sandwich?
Bread,
Bread, yes. Mm-hmm.
vegetables,
Which is, yeah.
spices,
Spices, yeah.
cheese or butter or
Cheese,
something. Cheese.
cheese and butter. Okay. Okay, fine. So let us say these are my different products which are needed for me in order to make my sandwich. Let us try to see in the situation of make to stock. So that when I'm saying it's make to stock, that means I have already produced my material before I have received an, say, a concrete order. Am I right? That's the make to stock scenario for me. Anything
Yes.
clear? Any questions here, Veera?
No.
When I say
No.
make to stock,
No.
you agree that it is
Yes.
done before I really have a concrete order, right? That's a make to
Yes.
stock
Yes.
scenario. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Then what about make to order scenario? So as we have started to understand that, yes, I am gonna do my production, actual production of my product is really happening once I have received an order, right? So let us see about what are the different processes which are needed for me in making of the sandwich. So these are my different ingredients needed. Let us say what are the different activities which are needed for me, right? Because when I say about the whole production, what are needed for me? One is my overall material planning, and at the other side is my capacity planning, which is also a very important role which it plays, right? Until unless you do the planning of this both, you cannot make your planning as perfect. Agreed?
Yes.
So material planning is needed for me, and I also need the sufficient and also a much more valid capacity planning. Okay, so let us say I need to do an activity like say chopping of veggies, and let us say
I see.
chopping of bread, two slices, and then assembling of bread to a sandwich. Let us say these are like three different activities which are needed to be done by me in making up my sandwich. Okay, so now in the make to stock scenario, everything is completely done before the order has come. That means every process here in the make to stock scenario, every process is something which is never influenced by the customer order. You agree? Because the chopping of veggies or say the chopping of bread, nothing is really bothered about do I really received a customer order or not, but I still make it as a process, right? That's my make to stock scenario. So if I say that these are the different processes which are involved, so I would say these all are as push processes for me because they are not influenced by the customer order. Okay, let us think about make to order. So here maybe you give some window to the customer, like okay, maybe you ask the customer is given a privilege like does he need extra spices, does he need extra cheese, or does he need extra butter. In that situation we are trying to assemble the sandwich according to his requirement. Agreed? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because when I say in the make to order scenario, maybe it is some privilege you are still trying to give to the customer, like okay, what are your requirements all about. Or else if it is just about one single sandwich which doesn't has any more options, maybe it could be still a simple MTS scenario only, right? Why am I saying it is MTO scenario? Because there are some things which are getting influenced by the customer order. So in this, can you tell me if it is a MTO scenario, are all the processes will be still be push processes, or there can be a pull process? If yes, can you tell me which will be the pull process here
Uh,
if it is an MTO? Yeah.
Assembling of
The third
third
one.
operation.
Third one.
Very good. Well said. Yeah. So this is going to be a pull process because this is going to be influenced by the customer order. So what I will do for this is I'm going to postpone this process, right? I will postpone this process until and unless I get an order. I will never assemble my sandwich. Only once I received a concrete order, I will start assembling of it. But does that mean that okay, I'm going to start my overall production, right? I mean, I'm going to do my every process before the only when the customer places order? No, there are still some processes which are involved, which are done as say a homework for me in order to ensure that I'm going to give him a faster delivery. Because if I have to start chopping the veggies and then chopping the bread and then doing a sandwich, maybe it will take some time. So depending on the process, I would still try to do a few processes which are still push process here even in the MTO scenario. Okay, agreed?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful. Then how it could be in the context of MTE, make to engineering. So any idea about make to engineering scenarios, like how it could be and what does it difference from a make to order and make to engineering? You can still give a thought process, it is fine. Yes, Veera.
No idea.
Mm-hmm. Malka.
It is customized based on the product is customized based on the customer requirement.
Very good, well said. Yeah. So, in another way, Veera, so maybe let us say, we know that our sandwiches are basically in, say, in a triangle in shape, mostly. But let us say you have a different customer who says like, I need my sandwich to be looking in a circular shape. So this is a completely make to engineering scenario, because the overall product and its look and feel, whatever it could be, is something changed with the customer given inputs. Okay, and in the situation here, when I'm saying it as make to engineering, even the very classic example of say chopping of bread, which was still considered by us as an push process, is no more a push process here, because even the chopping of bread is something decided by the customer, where he says it should be in circular or he says it should be in oval, whatever it is. Yeah, so that makes a difference between a make to stock, make to order, and make to engineering. Okay,
Okay.
however, are we clear with what does it mean by a push process and what does it mean by a pull process?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so those processes which are never influenced by the demand or the customer order, they can be classified as push processes, and those processes which have been influenced by the orders or the demand can be considered as pull processes. Okay, depending on the weightage of how many number of push processes and how many number of pull processes do I possess, I could decide as a client whether my business falls into an MTS or MTO or MTE. If I have a say higher push processes than push greater than pull processes, I mean, so it would be a make to order. And if I have push and pull in moderate number, then I would consider it's a make to order scenario. And if I have pull more than push, it would be a make to engineering scenario, right? So this is how a process of making can be classified. Okay, so as I mentioned, also another point, like whenever I'm trying to do any manufacturing or in any process of making a product, so two important entities are needed for me. One is the material planning, and the other one is the capacity planning. In the production planning, so maybe a question would come into your thought process, like we already have a production planning system in the place. So why the client still needs an advanced production planning and data scheduling option, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, in a production planning, these two are different entities. That is, material planning is one entity and capacity planning is a different entity. Or you say it's a two-step procedure, right, Malika? It's a two-step
Yes.
procedure.
Yes.
Whereas in advanced PPDS, it's a one-step procedure. So that means system has the capability to do the planning of both material and capacity planning at a one single step or at a simultaneously. So that was the difference the system this S4 advanced planning it comes up with, that makes the clients to go for this advanced planning. Okay, so that's the reason why, though we have in a normal ECC, or when I say OLTP system which already has a production planning, but still there is still a necessity for the client to have this planning much more efficiently, where he can do the planning of both material and capacity planning simultaneously. Then the client has to opt for this PPDS. Questions here? We also have now gotten another dimension, like why a client is really in need of this PPDS, right? Because it's a one-step procedure for PPDS for both material and capacity planning. Are we clear with the, or we have any questions?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, then let's also try to understand what is the necessity of, say, in the arena of this S4 HANA, which you also you see that S4 HANA it also comes with the cloud version. So the information is something which has to be captured more efficiently. So are you aware of that? What are different types of flows which are available in the supply chain? Any awareness or any thought process? Flows of supply chain processes?
Like the forecast is actually initially the forecast is coming,
Mm-hmm.
and based upon the forecast in a sorry, history in demand planning, history is taking as input and generating forecast based upon the forecast techniques. and the
Uh-huh.
forecast is released to S&P. So
Uh-huh.
in their S&P heuristic methods are running and to generate the planned orders. So after
Uh-huh.
that orders that will be converted into PPDS orders.
Uh-huh.
So the orders will be on those orders the after that the orders are converted into production orders or process orders
Uh-huh.
for manufacturing.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So it's only about a fulfillment engine, right? It is not a whole flow. You agree?
Yeah.
So it is still valid that the steps which you have conceived are really true, but it is just about how are you trying to fulfill your demand, expected demand, and the supply, right, Veera?
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to make it more generic. Like when I say the flows of supply chain, it's more about like as a so here also let me also ask you this question. Your awareness towards this, the players of supply chain. So when I say the players of supply chain, basically it could be a manufacturer, yeah, manufacturer. Then let us say you have your wholesaler, you have your retailer, then you have your end customer. Imagine these are your different players who are involved in your supply chain. Okay, so they are like different flows which happen among these players. They are material flow, information flow, and financial documents flow. So you take any example, you take any example, say you and let us say even an Amazon e-commerce site, maybe the number of players they may vary, they may decrease, right? Because you're trying to place an say a direct order into an e-commerce site. That means an end customer is trying to place an order direct to a manufacturer. So the complexity, or as you say, the number of players they may increase or decrease depending on the complexity of a business. But you still see you have different players involved, and you will still see that these three different flows are still happening, right? Material flow happens, right? The material moves from a manufacturer to your end customer, and this flow, whenever you are trying to know more about these flows, we use these terms upstream and downstream. You hear these terms downstream and upstream sometimes in your discussions from your client, or you say from your business people, they do speak about these terms. Have you ever heard? Yeah,
Yes.
Malika. Yeah,
Yes.
wonderful. Yeah, Veera, you heard about these terms?
No.
Okay, so anything which flows, say from your manufacturer to your end customer in this direction, I hope you're able to see my screen. So this something in this direction which it flows, right? So that could be considered as an downstream from your manufacturer to your end customer. Yeah, it would be an example for your downstream. Or something which flows the other way around, that is in this direction from your end customer to your manufacturer, it would be an upstream. Okay, I will take an example for downstream. Yeah, products movement, it's an example for a downstream. Agreed, because the products which are manufactured, they move from your manufacturer to your end customer. Can you tell me, Malka, an example for upstream?
Demand.
Very good, well
Fine.
said. Yeah, demand is also a very good example. Yeah, yeah, Malka, please try.
Uh, Returns.
Returns, yes, this is really a very interesting answer. Yes, I do agree that it's a example for your upstream, but maybe it's not in a bigger volumes, right? Because you
Yes.
see, when I say product movement of products, it's like it's in bigger volumes, but returns is also still a valid example for your upstream. Because when you say it's something which doesn't fit for your order, you just send it back, and it's also an example for your upstream. Very good, very good. Yeah. So you see how are these terms upstreams and downstream are being used because of different players who are involved right now. You understand, okay, these three flows are happening. Material flow happens, information flow happens, and financial documents flows happen. So what makes this SAP S/4HANA a really special tool is that of all these flows, you know what is the most important flow which every client is now focusing on? Is this information flow. Let us try to understand this with an example. Okay, like is information flow is something very important for us, and does it really increases the efficiency of a system? Let us try to understand. Okay, so for that, let us just take an example. Say you have placed an order to an, say okay, we'll take the same example of Amazon e-commerce site, and you, let us say you have placed for a new mobile phone. You have placed an order for a new mobile phone, and let us say you have received a date, like say you're gonna receive it by say tomorrow evening. So it's a Sunday evening and you're expecting the new phone. But let us say because of some circumstances, maybe let's just say because of bad weather or because of some any other reasons, they were not able to deliver you the product. Okay, what happens? This would lead to a customer dissatisfaction. Agreed? Yeah, because
Yes.
it was promised to be on the tomorrow evening, but it is not going to happen. Let us say they have a mechanism. Whenever there is a delay in the process, they send a message to the customer stating that sorry for the inconvenience and regret us, and they say like okay, you can, there is an expected delay of say 2 days of time. Does it still make sense that okay, the customer is still aware that okay, there is some delay and he is still okay with that, right? So do you now agree that yes, information flow plays a vital role than your material flow or your financial documents flow? Agreed? Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we are going to understand more about in this topic of information flows, how it is the new SAP S/4HANA system, how what are the different features of the cloud that makes this a really a special tool for different clients, and what is the different length and breadth of these topics of say the cloud, how it works, and what is the different significances it has brought to the customer on the table. We're going to understand more in detail in our upcoming sessions planned. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, so any questions regarding the topic? Like to the topic today, at least we have discussed. I think I'm sure you have got about a few new uh, terms. Let us say is more about yes, say upstream or downstream. We spoke about push or pull processes, right? So the same would be the discussions when we are starting with any of the topic. We'll first start to understand what is the significance of it, and then probably we'll try to dive to the topic where as a client what is the perception of it and how are they going to approach it to the topic. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Malika, if you have any specific topics which are to be addressed, please do keep a note of them, and you can also please do a mail to Harsha. She will take care of it. And if
Okay.
you have any other questions, I think yes, you can ask me now.
yeah, Raghu, like I have a question. Like, what is the duration for this course?
Yeah,
And
valid. So mhm. Yeah, yeah, please proceed.
yeah, and like it's conduct the sessions are conducting on weekends or daily, so that information is needed. And
Okay. Okay, let me hear from you both. Are you available on weekdays or weekends? What's your availabilities?
hmm, weekdays means I can for me it's
7 to 8
morning
p.m. IST.
7 to
uh,
8.
7 a.m.
No,
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST.
No, no, for me
no.
actually
Okay.
I
Okay.
yeah
9 to 10 p.m. IST.
no actually I reach home at 11 p.m. night.
Mhm. Okay.
But
8 to
for
9
me,
a.m. IST.
8 to
8 to
9.
9 a.m.
AM. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a.m. is okay. Night 8 to 9 a.m. is good for me.
But I
Yeah,
start
yeah.
my office at 7:30. The
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I get it.
seven
I get it.
seventh yeah 7:30 to 5:30, and I'll reach at home around 7:30 p.m. Then from that, uh,
Okay.
if I can you take 1 hour or 2 hours time during 4 to 5 p.m.? Like,
Okay, we have batches going on till 6 p.m. already, Malka.
okay,
So 7 to 8 is one slot we have, and 9 to 10 is one slot we have in the weekdays. Okay, then how comfortable you are to take the sessions at the weekends? Let me also hear from you. Uh, how does it goes? Is like, so it will be 2.5 hours for each day. So that gives you the 5 hours, which is as equivalent to your 5 days, 1 hour, and you have the rest of the week again to work with your examples. So that's also the another approach you can take up. So just let me hear from you, like how comfortable you are to take weekend batch if, for both of you.
yes. I'm okay for weekend, but it is better it is if you can schedule it on weekdays morning sessions.
Uh-huh. Morning is like as I said, you 8 to 9 a.m. It should be a troublesome for you, right, Malka? If you are
For
starting at
weekends,
weekdays.
weekdays 8 to 9 weekdays. You ask. Hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Please.
We you want weekdays, no?
Right, on weekdays, what's your availability?
8 to 9. Yes, I will. Yeah. Anyhow, I will
Okay,
arrange that time. Yeah, 8 to 9.
okay then. 8 to 9 is I think even Veera you can opt for it, right, Veera?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wonderful. Okay.
But then every weekday, so is it every day,
Every day, Monday to Friday, yeah.
Monday to
If
Friday, eight
if
to
it is
nine?
a challenging if it is a challenging something for you, Malka, you can let us know. That's not a problem at all. We can still try to arrange the other option. But
Okay,
if you are say available on the time slot 8 to 9, I think we can start it say as quick as say day after tomorrow.
okay,
Yeah. So you
yeah,
can let us know if you have any challenges. Please do not hesitate. You can still speak to Harsha. She would
And
yes, I will
help
speak to
you.
Harsha.
yeah,
Yeah.
Raghu,
I will.
And
and and
the
this
duration was another question from Veera. So the expected would be 30 to 35 hours, but it could vary depending on our gap analysis sessions. So I can still not give you a firm number because it still cannot be done in the same way. And if sometimes if I'm supposed to take some additional topics, you have to bear with me because I'm sure those topics will help you in order to analyze or to understand more about the business context. So it is still expected to be 30 to 35 hours, but it's still not a fixed number. Yeah.
okay, and like these sessions can be recordable.
Yes. Yes. So let me speak about what are the privileges you will be provided with. So you will be provided with trainer narrated documents, recorded sessions, IDS system. So IDS system, what I mean to say is test system where you can practice the topics. Yeah.
That
Hello.
is idea system means it's a normal
Test system.
R3 and APO, right?
Correct.
And Raghav, that trainer narrated documents means you share your presentations or something, or any reading materials you provide for us.
Yeah, I do provide you also a few reading materials and also a few which speaks about the user stories, so that you can try to correlate the methodologies at any given point of time. So because this would be helpful for you for also for your any other client future engagements also. So those user stories I have also encapsulated them so that you can try to apply them as and when, and then you can easily get the overall thought process of how does the particular methodology works. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and like Raghu, like are you like in future sessions, like are you going to do some configuration, showing some configuration settings and
Yeah, yeah.
run heuristics and show the results? So what are the
Yes,
results
yes.
are? So that can be
Of
you are
course,
showing,
yeah.
right?
That is still the part of the training. It is still what is expected from us. Yeah.
Okay.
So what would be the important takeaway points after you have done with your training. You would be aware of the basic configuration necessities for your master data, and also for the overall production planning and data scheduling. How does it works? Number one. Number two, what are different methodologies which are used and how they can be configured? Some awareness towards them, especially. Number three, the important interactive planning tools, their configuration necessities, how to be configured, how are they used, what is significance of them. I'm just giving you a glimpse of the all, but this is something at a say a but generic level. What you can try to cope up to say that, okay, what after the completion of our course, what you will be much more comfortable and be aware of completely are these topics. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
okay.
like actually I said earlier, like I'm new to PPDS, so I have definitely I will get some many questions, and so don't hesitate to answer. If you if in case
Yes.
if you feel the silly questions also, but
As I mentioned, that is something I would be asking you the more questions, because I want to make the sessions more interactive, and I'm sure you would be enjoying the discussions, because it also gives you a mixed experience of mind with the different domains. So I'm sure you would be taking up those more assignments which I'm also going to give you, so that you can also get the best of my awareness and my knowledge in the context of PPDS. Okay, so I
okay,
hope you have enjoyed this discussion, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to explain you how our sessions have been planned for you. So my coordination team will get back to you. If you have any other questions, please do reach out them. And I hope you will be you have already received the training content. If not, you will be receiving it by end of the day. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
Okay.
you,
so much.
Thank
It
you.
was very nice
Okay.
speaking to you both. Thank you.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.